Yeah. We back, man. Monken said he gonna announce it today. Said he gonna announce the starter today. We saw the Watson press conference. We saw what he was talking about. We saw how he felt. I felt like that was the worst. Listen, man, I started an enterprise where I help young athletes be media ready. And I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson could have benefited from this program, even as a pro. Like I definitely work with the high schoolers and the collegiate athletes, but it's looking like the pros need the media training too, man. Get with Real McCoy TV, man. They didn't even throw you hard questions. I feel like he was coming off of a bad game and he was gonna say what he wanted to say because he felt like the writing was on the wall. It's actually kind of sad to see him go out like that. Um, I won't be overly doing that. I already got a stream. It's a couple hours long. We broke down some of the gameplay, broke down some of the teammates that we liked on the Cleveland Browns. Then we looked at, some of what Deshaun Watson and then we got into his press conference. And I'm telling you, it didn't come off easy. And yeah, you got booed when you got hurt. But I think it's some other factors, football considering Cleveland might be the greatest football town in America. We don't cheer when people get hurt. It's hard to explain. We just knew and kind of felt like we ready to see what's next. So sorry you took it so personal, Deshaun Watson. I'm somebody who was down with the cheering when you got hurt. So I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I wasn't happy you got hurt, but I was happy that somebody else would get another chance. I felt like we saw enough from you and you wasn't clicking. And then a lot of the rumors coming out of the facilities and stuff was like you, along with Miles Garrett, was not being held accountable. Y'all wasn't. I don't know. It ain't look good. But we gonna get into some of this film breakdown. This is what y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? This is what y'all want to see. So we gonna get into this. Matty Dubs. Shout out to Matty Dubs. He does great work. Great work, Matty Dubs. We gonna full screen this.
Not only
I'm gonna
do
give
I
him the like
believe
button.
that kind of done enough to Deshaun Watson said in yesterday's post game, we might even have it's closer than you may think now. And Deshaun might not have a great chance to continue to be the day one starter. And again, it's not because of just what he said, it's more so because Shedeur played well yesterday. We did have the one interception, which we'll talk about, but take a look at a play like this. First thing that we notice here is we've got off coverage, right? But also they're playing with inside leverage, right? That might not be the most perfect line in the world, but they're playing off and inside leverage, giving us this little stop route to the sideline. We're also going to pair that up with an outside release fade route. Now, because we've got the leverage we want to put this to the outside shoulder and give Isaiah Bond room to just turn up the field and get some extra yards. Perfect job here. Throws a little bit to the outside shoulder, but that's fine. That's where we want it because why? We have more space to turn up the field and get extra yards. We pick up 8 yards in that play. I thought it was a really good opportunity for Isaiah Bond and a really good throw by Shedeur Sanders. We're going to go through some of the film, some of the all 22. Before we dive in, I want you guys to do me a favor. One, hit the like button. Let's see if we get over 800 likes. But two, comment down below your thoughts on the Deshaun Watson post-game thoughts or his post-game press conference. And do you think that'll have um, you know, anything to do
Yes.
with who they
Yes, it
name the
will.
starter, or do you think it means nothing?
Yes.
Another really good play right here. So we're gonna
Need
get
some
this
mental milk.
dig over the middle of the field. We're gonna get what looks to be like a crossing route that stops over the middle, and I believe this is kind of very similar. We get a wheel route out the back, and then I believe like a stop fade down that right sideline. But ultimately, I love Shedeur Sanders here because he's going to look at Isaiah Bond on that shallow cross over the middle of the field. And what you're going to see is these two hook curl defenders are essentially going to be reading the eyes. So we're going to go from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, and then this is going to be our last read. Boom, right here. So as we look at Isaiah Bond, we get 48, that middle linebacker, to kind of overcommit there. But watch 25, the other guy kind of overcommits in that direction as well. So that dig is getting leverage, or at least we have some acceleration to that side of the field. So Shedeur Sanders continues to look at Bond, keeps that guy in place. And now that we have leverage, look at the ball placement. Beautiful job. Tough throw to make with the guy right there, and he puts it on the money. for a 16-yard pickup. That is a good
True.
play by Shedeur
True.
Sanders, and I feel like he did a really good job not putting the ball in too much like turnover territory. He was very conservative. Again, he did have an interception. We'll talk about that when we get there, but I thought he did a great job. Love this play here because we're going to get some pre-snap motion from right to left. First thing that we notice here, guys, is man-to-man coverage every single day of the week. You saw someone cross the formation, so we're actually going to send that guy back. Now, initially, we're going to get Denzel Boston vertical quickly so we can set up this quick little screen to Amani Marshall, I believe his name is. So boom, now perfect job because we get another guy over to this side of the field here, but all their linebackers are kind of over committed to the strong side. Notice how no one's in this gap over here. So this screen's basically like a yes read for Freeman.
Yeah, Maddie,
Essentially,
break it
a
down.
play action fake. Initial look is going to be to that right side. Why?
Yeah,
Well, these
Maddie.
guys are in zones. They read the quarterback. So even if they take one step in that direction, which they don't, or this guy does, but that guy doesn't, that's fine because we've got a blocker on front. So we find him with 3 blockers out front. Ultimately, really good job. Probably could have done better on that one block, but still a good read, good manipulation tactic. Again, just a screen, but love it. Another beautiful play here. We are going to get this deep side dig over the back of the end zone. We're going to get behind everybody here. We're also going to run this crosser here with Denzel Boston. His job is to get rid of that deep safety. And then Isaiah Bond goes over the middle, crossing the faces of these second level players, trying to keep their attention focused. And then we're going to turn up and try to get rid of the outside boundary defensive back here, right? I believe we get a chip and release here with the tight end. And then running back is going to be on like this out route over here. So love to see it from this angle because we can see everything. The all 22 is amazing. So on this play, again, you're going to see a great job here by Shedeur scanning the field. He's going to go through his first read, which is going to be crosser to crosser. And then
Good
from
morning,
there,
everybody. Good morning. I need y'all to hit the repost button. We have 830 subscribers over on the YouTube. Trying to get that to 1,000 by the start of this week. I'm gonna try to give it a week, but y'all hit the repost. Go over to the YouTube, subscribe, get in the Twitter, comment like crazy. Here we go.
Isaiah Bond, which forces this guy to bite down. Again, Luke Floria is getting to the backside of the end zone. These guys are not paying attention. Point A and point B to Luke Floria. So Luke, perfect job getting to the behind the defense here. And then Shedeur, great job manipulating, looking at Bond, getting those guys to bite up, and then look at this, wide open, back of the end zone, easy money, manipulation. You got just great job seeing the field by Shedeur Sanders here. And again, you can see his head tilt over, boom, right there to Isaiah Bond. Guess these guys overcommit, opens up a space, wide open, perfect. I mean, you could not draw that up better. Now, before we get any further into the video, guys, like I said before, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get over 800 likes on the video. We'll continue to cover them throughout training camp and everything else. Also, make sure you are subscribed. It is free, doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Browns and Shedeur throughout the entirety of preseason, training camp, regular season, and everything in between. Join the family if you have yet to do so, and also turn on your post notifications. That way you're notified when we do post these videos. Now, with that being said, let's kind of dive even more into the video right here. They come into 21 personnel, 2 backs in the backfield, 1 tight end, or at least maybe you could say 12 personnel. But we're going to work on play action, drop back here. Nothing really open. You probably want to take one of your checkdowns early on here, and probably the running back. Probably going to want to hit the running back right here. It's not going to pick up too many yards, but I mean, you could not draw that up better. Now, before we get hit the like button. Let's see if we can get over 800 likes on the video. We'll continue to cover them throughout training camp and everything else.
Please hit the
Also,
like
make sure
buttons,
you are
man. Go support
subscribed. It is
Matty
free,
Dubs.
doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Browns and Shedeur throughout the entirety of preseason, training camp, regular season, and in between. Join the family if you have yet to do so, and also turn on your post notifications. That way you're notified when we do
Yeah,
post these
Maddie.
videos.
Thanks
Now,
for the
with that
repost,
being said,
y'all.
let's kind of dive even more into the video right here. They come into 21 personnel, 2 backs in the backfield, 1 tight end, or at least maybe you could say 12 personnel. But we're going to work on play action, drop back here. Nothing really open. You probably want to take one of your checkdowns early on here, and probably the running back. Probably going to want to hit the running back right here. It's not going to pick up too many yards, but it's probably your best bet. And he holds the ball a little bit too long, ends up getting taken down there. there for a sack. Not a terrible play, but he did have an opportunity to run back out the backfield and maybe pick up 2 to 3 yards. Maybe he makes the guy miss an open space, right? You never really know. But yeah, that one goes down as a sack. All right, guys, we are literally just a few weeks away from the start of this season, and big shout out to Prize Picks. Makes you guys, put some in responsibly. But
I don't
man,
condone
if you use my
gambling.
promo code and win your first $5 play, they're going to give you $150 to play with. It is a steal. So go do that. Link will be in the description. But here's what I'm putting in for this season. I like Matthew Golden to go more than 650 receiving yards. I just feel like with Dontavion Wicks gone, with Romeo Doubs gone, he's going to be in for a big workload, and I don't think he's going to come off the field too much. Jordan Mason, I think, is the RB1, and they're going to try to establish run early. 650 rush yards is doable. And then JCM, Bill, over or more than 600 rushing yards, I think is also an absolute steal right now. Go check it out. Link in the description. Get the steal. Let's get back into the video. I love this fake toss here. Essentially, we're going to get some guys out as if they are pitching this ball to the outside. Our tight end is just going to cross the middle of the field, cross face. We're going to leave this guy unblocked so he makes a decision whether to go get the running back or stick on the quarterback, who's going to be in a bootleg out to that side. I believe you get either a go corner route to the top side. Ultimately, we're just trying to get a couple of these guys to bite down, and that's exactly what happens. Take a look. Fake the toss. This guy bites down completely, and now we're pretty much wide open. Shedeur finds him, turns up the field, 13, 14-yard pickup there. Beautiful job. Nice fake off the toss. Again, one of those reps that's just drawn up perfectly. Again, these guys bite down. Instead of crossing face here, we're actually going to get behind him. Make it even more tough for him to know where we're going. And again, perfect job. That's a good rep. Another interesting play call here. We're going to get like a go ball toward the outside. Go ball towards the outside. Believe we get flats here by tight end running back. Then we're going to get like this deep crosser down the field. Now, essentially, we're dropping back. We're reading from left to right here. So kind of this is our first read as we're getting behind the second level of this defense. Well, take a look at this. Our route is going to get to the backside of this defender here, while this one is getting in front of that outside boundary DB. You also have this flat here, which is going to make this guy commit downhill, which, again, if we're able to get behind this dude, we should have some space back there. So Shedeur sees it perfectly. Also, look at his head. See how his head is facing in this direction? That's not because he wants to throw this ball here, but it's because he wants to move this guy down or even in this direction ever so slightly. Even one false step gives you leverage on that crossing right there. That false step gives you all of the I guess leverage you need. Once again, and we fit in there for a 23-yard pickup. Nice. I kind of have to show the interception here, and I really don't believe this was totally his fault. I would say maybe like 30%, 35% his fault. I do think somebody goes to the tight end, but we're going to get like this little crosser. It's going to be more of an angle route here. So essentially, we're getting outside leverage off the end, and then we're angling back over to the middle of the field, which is perfect because the goal is to get this guy to bite downhill and then boom over the middle, create some separation, and that's exactly what happens. Boom. I mean, it's perfect. That's a perfect read. That's where we should be going with the football every day of the week here because it's just open, right? I will also say you could probably have hit this curl route coming back to the football a little bit. That also would have worked as well. Either way, I think they're both relatively open, right? But this one is slightly behind. But man, if you look at the end zone camera, look at this ball's, it's not great. Again, it is behind. It is behind, but that is a catchable football for the most part. Gets swatted up in the air or batted up in the air, and DeMar Hamlin comes away with it. This is one we got to complete for both sides. Again, got to be a little bit in front. But overall, that was really the one bad throw he had in this game. And I'm not going to hate him for it. I thought he had a pretty decent game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the family. Who do you guys think is in the lead for the starting job right now? Do you think the Deshaun Watson comments really change anything? Yes or no? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Should be soon. Peace.
This video is brought to you by Prize Picks. If you're a Browns fan, you have to ask yourself two questions this morning. One, are the Browns going to actually do it? What I mean by that is, will the Browns actually announce Deshaun Watson as the 2026 starter today? That is something that has been heavily rumored, speculated, based on a lot of things that the Browns have been doing recently. But the chaos of what happened Saturday makes that a lot less of an obvious situation for the Browns to go to, right? We'll talk about that in detail in the second half of this video. For the first half of this video, I want to focus on the second question that Browns fans have to have, whether they know they have this question or not, which is, what exactly are we doing at edge outside Jared Verse? See, earlier in training camp, and pretty much the entirety of training camp, the Browns have been looking for another veteran to add to this rotation. You already had Alex Wright. You have Isaiah McGuire, Jared Verse. They want to add one more name that they feel good about to that rotation. They brought in Jadeveon Clowney. They brought in Shedeur Smith. Both of those guys went elsewhere. Jadeveon back to Houston, and Shedeur went to Atlanta. So the Browns were already searching for another edge. And then they get the news that Alex Wright's going to be out for the year, I believe, on a torn Achilles, which complicates the situation even further, right? Not only is this devastating for Alex Wright, who this is his second season-ending injury. Remember, 2 seasons ago against the Jaguars, Alex Wright tore his bicep and was out for the season. I believe that was week 2 of 2024, and missed the whole season because of it. And then he comes back, he plays well last year, earns a $10 million contract, and then he tears his Achilles. It's real unfortunate. It kind of reminds me of Martin Emerson, where just when it looked like Martin's career was going to start to get going, boom, Achilles tear, completely derailed. Future is super uncertain now, right? So super uncertain future for Alex Wright, but in the short term for the Cleveland Browns, it makes a situation that already wasn't great even worse, right? Because you're already looking for a fourth guy in that rotation, and now your number 2, right? Alex Wright was the definitive number 2 on this team, or at least he was paid like it. The number 2 on this team, that he goes down, and now you have to replace your 2 and your 4. So what do the Browns do? The Browns have signed Derek Barnett to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. That's how they're going to deal with one of the holes here. Now, $5.5 million isn't necessarily fourth edge money. It's closer to edge 2 or 3 money, which makes me wonder where Isaiah McGuire is in this rotation and who exactly were they bringing in Jadeveon Clowney and Shedeur Smith to replace. Because the kind of money that those guys got, I think Jadeveon got similar money to Derek Barnett, and Shedeur got similar, if not more money. I think he might have got $6.5 million to play edge in Atlanta. That would signal like number 2, right? Which would mean you felt more comfortable with Wright as your 3 and McGuire as your 4. I don't know what their read is on this edge room. The fact that they've been continuously bringing in and publicly bringing in edges kind of tells me they're not happy with the play outside of Jared Verse in that edge room. And then they bring in Derek Barnett, who I don't know if he was already lined up because the Browns were already trying to get veteran edge rushers in here, and he would fit the bill. He's certainly a step below Jadeveon and Shedeur. Both those guys have been former like all-pro, Pro Bowl level players. Derek Barnett has been a consistently decent edge number 3 or 4 in his career, right? Like he's a guy who would get you about 5 sacks. And if you're looking at Alex Wright's production and you're looking at what Derek Barnett has done so far in his career, Derek Barnett's coming off 2 5-sack seasons. He's a pretty safe bet to replicate similar production to what Alex Wright was able to get. Now, I think there was a hope with Alex Wright, given that he's young and there's going to be, opportunity for it because of all the pressures that they think Mason Graham and Jared Verse are going to be able to create, that number would jump for Alex Wright to about like 8 sacks. I think that's really where we wanted Alex Wright to be. Derek Barnett's going to get you about 5 or 6 sacks. I don't think he's ever gotten more than 6 sacks in a season. It's also funny to me, like, I don't think this is related at all, by the way. Like, I'm not trying to like make some kind of point here, but it's just an interesting tidbit here.
Hopefully he can
Barnett,
ball.
if you guys were a part of the 2017 draft conversation, was one of the guys that people would bring up all the time, that the Browns should trade back their number 1 pick, not take Myles Garrett and get Derek Barnett, because people thought Derek Barnett could be better than Myles Garrett because he had more sack production in college. So it's funny that the year that we get rid of Myles Garrett, we're like bringing back Derek Barnett. Not bringing back, but bringing in Derek Barnett. But all in all, Derek Barnett's a solid vet. He's going to hold down edge 2 if you need him to in a pinch, right? Preferably, you would like somebody to step up. I would hope it could be Isaiah McGuire, right? Like Isaiah McGuire, from what I could tell, he showed some good things the last couple of years. I'm hoping he could step up at edge 2, and then you feel real comfortable with Derek Barnett at edge 3, and then we'll see if they bring in somebody to be the 4th edge. Even though like Aquara has been playing in these preseason games, and he's made plays every game. So like, I'm not too opposed to him being the 4th edge. I understand that they want more firepower there, given that the defense is going to be the heart and soul of this team. But you can put out Mike Hall at edge at times. Like, I think you can finagle it if Isaiah McGuire can step up and become like an 8-sack guy, right? Like, they really need somebody to be an 8-sack guy on this defensive line for everything that they want to do to work, right? And I think that's the biggest thing that they're running into, is that it's just hard to find somebody who they think can get 8 sacks. And the guy that they thought could do it, Alex Wright, he just went down with an Achilles tear. So now it's on Isaiah McGuire. I don't know how internally they felt about Isaiah McGuire, right? I thought he had a good couple of years, but maybe they don't feel the same way. It's going to be interesting to see how they continue to replace it, because that's why Derek Barnett is here. That's my thoughts on the Browns' edge situation. Before I get into the quarterback stuff that might be announced today, I want to thank my sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports app. The app is really easy to use for player picks. Just pick more or less for a few player stats and lock in your lineup. That's it. Rather just pick teams, well, Prize Picks has that now too. Just pick the winner, spread, or total in any game or fight. Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Plus, you can even follow me on the app at Quinn_C and tell my picks with one click, and follow your friends too. Speaking of my picks, here they are. Myles Garrett over 15.75 sacks. 16's been his baseline the last few years. I'd be very surprised if he goes to LA and that number drops, given that he's going to see more passing attempts, given that LA's offense is better than what the Browns have been. Quinshon Judkins, 924 yards. They had 2 really good picks for Quinshon here, 6 touchdowns or 924 yards. I feel comfortable taking more on both, but 1,000 yards feels like a safer bet for Quinshon. I think he's going to have a big year this year. Carson Schlesinger, 2.25 sacks. I'm saying more. Remember, Mike Rutenberg likes to blitz his linebackers a lot more than the previous defensive coordinator the Cleveland Browns had. Also, Carson Schlesinger is probably going to have to get involved as a sack producer to make up for the hole that they're going to have to make up for Myles Garrett. And then Shedeur Sanders starting more than 7.5 games. I think he'll be the starter, play about 8 games or more this year. But that's my picks for this season. Best of all, play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use the promo code HMA when you sign up. Again, that's your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win when you use the promo code HMA. Prize Picks has switched up their offer. There's no better time to join, lock in, and win that first lineup. All right, so I want to put this part at the end of the video because I want this to not be a super reactionary take. I want this to be as well thought out as possible, right? Because obviously I have my feelings on how I feel personally about Deshaun Watson, right? But I do have an obligation professionally, right? And I think people come here because at the end of the day, I'm honest, but I'm also fair, right? And I have a duty to this channel to be fair. Try to see where the Browns are coming from, also see where the fans are coming from, and then have my take on top of that, right? My take about why Deshaun Watson cannot be the starter is a very simple one, right? No, it's not just because the fans don't like him. No, it's not just because I personally do not like him. The reason I think the Browns cannot make Deshaun Watson a starter is something that football guys love.
What's the reason, Q?
Deshaun Watson at this point is too big of a distraction for your football team. One of the main cited reasons for Shedeur Sanders falling into the draft was because the NFL deemed him too big of a distraction, right? Distractions are held as a premium for NFL teams. Nothing can be a distraction. Your situation, you can't get in trouble off the field because that's a distraction. We can't have distractions, right? NFL coaches, historically, NFL GMs, front offices have always held distractions as the worst thing a player can bring to a football team. And for good reason, right? A distraction makes it hard to get buy-in. A distraction makes it hard to build unity for a team. A distraction makes it hard for you to be as good as a football team as you can be. So even if somebody is a good player, but they're too much of a distraction, it is normal for NFL teams to decide that they're just going to move on because the distraction is too costly. That is not the price that I have put on distractions. That is the price that the NFL has placed on distractions. And Deshaun Watson is a giant distraction. 75,000 Browns fans booing the Browns starting quarterback is as big of a distraction as you can imagine. It's not the kind of thing that you can block out. You can't tell the players on the sideline to not have an opinion about it when they are seeing one of their teammates get booed. You can't tell people that it doesn't exist when it's literally happening in your home stadium. This is a massive distraction. Deshaun Watson, when he stood on that podium and said what he said, put brand new kindle on this fire. Right? It was already a burning blaze of a fire. The fans already did not like him. But that could have petered out after a while. But what he did was basically challenge a city that is known for being angry, by the way. Like if you look at the most popular and well-known Cleveland fan moments, it's us expressing hatred or anger. Bottlegate. Right? Booing LeBron James when he came back here. This is not a city that's known for the friendly confine. The old dog pound was famous because fans used to throw double D batteries at the opposing teams. Underestimate the capacity for Cleveland fans in general to be angry if you want. It's not a smart bet. And what Deshaun Watson did was basically beg one of the angriest cities in the world to boo him. That's going to be a massive distraction.
You shouldn't have did that.
We could talk about this from the fan side and why I hate what they're doing to the fan base a little bit later. But just from a coaching standpoint, from a pure football standpoint, because I understand the Browns' argument. I understood that the Browns were saying we have a young team, a new offensive line, a new offense. We don't want to have a rookie quarterback carry the weight of bringing that in early in the season. So we would like a veteran quarterback to hold that down. And I would agree with that philosophy. The only problem is that veteran quarterback can't also be the guy that 75,000 people, in the stadium are going to boo the life out of. You can't get the stadium to get quiet when you're on offense because the fans are booing the quarterback. And you can't stop them from booing the quarterback because they have lost all trust in you because you keep putting this dude out there. After he antagonized the fans. And look, you can feel how you feel about this. You could think that it's just drama that's off the field and it shouldn't affect the football. But at this point, it is a distraction that's going to affect the football. If I had to hear about how Odell Beckham had to go because he was too much of a distraction because his dad went on Instagram and antagonized the quarterback.
Yeah.
If I have to hear
Let's go
about
bring that back, Q. Bring that back.
Odell Beckham had to go because he was too much of a distraction because his dad went on Instagram and antagonized the quarterback. If I have to hear about that being a distraction, then you bet your ass. Then explain to me how a quarterback antagonizing his own fans and basically guaranteeing that he's going to get booed every time he steps out there is not a distraction.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it in play during the preseason game. Deshaun Watson got booed by like 30,000 people in that stadium. It wasn't even half full. And that was enough to rattle the whole team. You got rookies on here. You're trying to build a culture with young players and tell them why playing in the city of Cleveland is important, while playing for the Cleveland Browns is important. And you're putting them in a situation to where the fan base is going to boo them. That's not a way to build locker room culture. Like, that's a crazy thing to ask. It's a distraction. And being on that field is just too much of a distraction. Say we're not going to boo Shedeur. He's out there. Say what you want about Dylan Gabriel. I feel like we're over booing Dylan. And even the people, it wasn't that many people doing it to begin with, right? Like, whatever. They're not going to boo Dylan Gabriel.
I didn't know Gabriel was getting booed.
Especially if Shedeur plays first and doesn't play well and gets benched, and then Dylan gets in, right? Nobody's going to boo Dylan at that point. Taylor Green is not going to get booed. You can play, if you wanted to trade for Jameis Winston and have him start, you could do that. Jameis ain't going to get booed. If you want to have a veteran quarterback play, go get a veteran quarterback and have him play and start the season. But it can't be Deshaun Watson. That dude's a distraction. And for a league and a franchise that has told me for years, has justified keeping good players out the league for years because of the word distraction, you cannot sell me that this isn't one of the biggest distractions a football team can have.
True.
I mean, I think it's kind of crazy that the distraction tag has not really been a label on Deshaun Watson since he's got here. Like the whole 30 cases of sexual harassment and assault, that wasn't a distraction, right? But Shedeur having a cameraman is a distraction.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham wearing a special wristwatch, that's a distraction.
Yeah.
The fan base booing Deshaun Watson, that's not enough of a distraction to dissuade you from putting him out there. But Odell's dad going on Instagram saying that the quarterback's not that good, gotta get him off the team immediately. It's interesting how the NFL picks and choose what distractions are distractions. But I feel like this distraction is too much of a distraction. And the only reason the Browns are going to push back on it, the only reason the Browns want to put Deshaun Watson out there now is because they wanted to do it before he got booed. And they don't want to feel like they got bullied out of it. Right? Because before the booing, before Saturday, it was obvious that the Browns were going to name Deshaun Watson the starter. Right? They were giving him all the first team reps. They were preparing him to play first team. They gave him all the first team reps in joint practice, or the bulk of the first team reps in joint practice. They gave Shedeur reps with the ones too, but he also practiced with the twos. He prepared like a backup, basically. The only quarterback that's played with the ones in a preseason game is Deshaun Watson. They've made it very clear that that's what they wanted to do. And they don't want to be seen as being bullied by the fans. That's the only reason I can see them deciding that they're just going to go push forward and start him. They're going to underestimate how angry the fan base can get. They're going to underestimate how nasty the fan base will be willing to make
riot type shit over
and
this.
We're going to get to a home game where Deshaun Watson's out there, and it's going to get ugly. It's going to get way ugly. We know it's going to get ugly. It always gets ugly. And somebody's going to take it past the line, and the entire fan base is going to get blamed for the person who took it over the line. And they're going to wag their finger at us. The players are going to wag their finger at us. But we know who actually created this situation.
Yeah.
The front office that decided that it was a good idea to keep starting Deshaun Watson after he proved to be a massive distraction for this football team. There's not a football argument for it. There's not a ethical argument for it. There is not a single reason other than stubbornness to keep Deshaun Watson out there at this point. If you want to start a veteran quarterback, go trade for a veteran quarterback. But Deshaun Watson's not the veteran quarterback you can start. One, we think that like the level of play is going under discussed, right? Like people are making the argument. You could have made the argument without the press conference that Deshaun Watson looked so terrible in that game against third-string preseason players that should have been enough to get him benched, let alone the fact that he reignited his beef with the fan base. Like before he was a distraction, and he already was, before he made him a nuclear distraction, you could argue that the play wasn't good enough because it wasn't good enough.
It wasn't.
The only reason to go through with this now is just being stubborn because this was the plan and we're not going to get bullied. And that result is going to end in the cycle that we normally see these results end in, right? When they didn't want to bench Deshaun Watson, even though it was obvious in 2024 that they should bench Deshaun Watson out of stubbornness, right? They wanted to see what they had. They wanted to give it the full season. They were headstrong in that determination. Even though people like me before that game said, we're putting ourselves in a dangerous spot. We're playing with fire. He's going to get booed at home. And if he gets injured, the fans are going to cheer. And then injured, and the fans cheer. And then we get blamed for taking it over the top. But who put the fans in that very avoidable situation?
I said the same thing.
You could have just benched him based on performance. But you wanted to keep him out there.
Thanks for the repost, y'all. Hit the repost.
Again, it's
trying to get 150 subs this week to get to 1,000 on YouTube.
Here again, players are going to have reactions to that, right? Like it's going to get ugly again. And I'm not really worried about if it gets ugly between Deshaun Watson and the fans. I'm worried about how this has an effect on Harold Fannin, how this has an effect on Denzel Boston, right? Like when Deshaun Watson went out there and got booed, they had the camera on Denzel Boston, right? And you could see Denzel Boston hear the booing come for Deshaun Watson. And he's like, whoa, what is going on? It shook him. It shook the entire team. I'm worried about what effect that has on that guy, Mason Graham. All the young players we've invested in. We traded Myles Garrett to get all these young players. But we're putting them in a situation where they got to be antagonistic, where the players are going to feel like they're antagonistic to the fans. And that's not good. You're trying to build a culture. Like, that's not going to work. There's no way you can sell this to me, even though they're going to try, because if I know anything about Andrew Berry, he's going to go through with his plan no matter what. And it's clear that the plan was to start Watson. I hope he course corrects because that would be the smartest thing that he could do. But I don't anticipate it, unfortunately. And if they go out there and they name Deshaun Watson the starter and they let him roll into
I think he will, Q. I think he will. I think sometimes it is what it is, man. And I think he thought that, but I don't know, man. Hopefully you ain't right on this one.
Home game. Especially when on national TV against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are responsible for everything that happens in that stadium. And as much as I like the things that Andrew Berry has done recently with the draft, as much as I like how well he handles free agency, I can't protect him from that. And if that gets him fired, that gets him fired. And I think everybody is underestimating just how easily this can get fired. The only person who I think kind of gets it is Todd Monken. I think he gets one part of it. I think he misses the other part. I think Todd Monken understands that like getting booed in Cleveland is not that big of a deal. He made the argument, hey, if you don't play well, they're going to boo you. And he gets that part. And that means he gets Cleveland a little bit. The part I don't think Todd Monken understands is that Deshaun Watson's not wrong when he says that the fans don't like him. Okay? He's not wrong. It is unique to Deshaun Watson, right? And the fans aren't wrong for not liking Deshaun Watson, in my opinion.
He earned it.
And I think because Todd has not been here the last 4 years, he doesn't understand that part to it. That's going to be why he's going to be okay with playing Deshaun Watson, because he thinks this could go away if he plays well. He's going to play well because I'm going to make him play well. But
I think he do believe that.
How much it goes away if he plays well. And all the chain reaction we saw in the preseason game wasn't he played bad, they booed. It was they booed him, that rattled him, he played bad. And I think we're underestimating that part. Deshaun Watson hasn't really handled the fact that people don't like him anymore well. And I see no reason for that to change. I would love to live in a world where I'm wrong here, where the Browns get good quarterback play and we don't boo and no embarrassments happen, but I just can't imagine that's going to happen. So, in my opinion, Browns should not put Deshaun Watson out there. and putting him out there would be courting disaster. Hopefully they change course and we hear good news tonight, but I'm leaving that video slot open for tonight because I feel like I know what they're about to do, and you do too. Y'all have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.
You said it well, Q. Trying to get my fan base like Q's. Look at all them people, man. Step up for real, McCoy TV, man. Look at this. I'm trying to do something like that. Look at that. Dozens of people.
All right.
All right, y'all. We're going to end it on
Hey, Coach.
this
All right,
Todd
we have Coach
Monken
Monken.
interview. We're going to hear what he got to say from this, decipher from it, and then we out of here. But I'm anticipating that Todd Monken ain't scared of nobody. You know what I'm saying? Todd Monken ain't scared of nobody, meaning I feel like he's gonna make the right decision for the team. I really feel that. I really believe that. Crew Life is the merch. You see the hoodies in the background. It's the white one. Get you some Crew Life, but I think Monken's gonna make the right decision, man. Shout out to my sponsor, Crew Life Clothing. Let's get it, Monk.
Again, I see some hands are raised already. So we'll start calling on you guys. First question, we'll go to Mary Kay.
Hey, Todd, I'm just wondering, Deshaun Watson's post-game press conference, how does that impact your decision on your starting quarterback?
Look at Monken is looking like, damn, I wish he wouldn't have did that press conference. Like, they should have did the press conference like when Lil Durk did it with King Von and had somebody on the side every time he get to a sketchy situation, somebody cough like and it's awkward, but the person then doesn't go and say things that's wild.
And when do you anticipate making this decision?
I anticipate making it tomorrow.
Okay, and what are the last sort of aspects that will go into this decision?
I still have a few things to weigh out, but I'm not
The
going to get into
fuck
that.
you got
We
the way
anticipate,
out, bro.
getting started tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Tony.
Sorry, didn't think I was up that quick. Todd, so much has been talked about Deshaun's headspace being right, at this point, and
He
it
said
didn't
Bob
look right.
Watson.
And after that game, do you need to talk to him about handling this situation better?
Well, I talked to all of our players beyond even yesterday post game or things we did in the game or each week. So I'll keep those conversations private. But again, I think Deshaun spoke from the heart. None of us ever. We all want to play.
He
well
did. That's one thing.
as a team.
That's one thing that I knew Monken would appreciate about Deshaun Watson. For some reason, he got to the point where like, nah, I'm gonna talk my shit, bro. And maybe we can get past it. That he finally acknowledged, like, you mad that we booed. So what? People in Cleveland to beat you up and don't go nowhere. Like they'll just watch you get up, fix yourself, call whoever you gonna call. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cleveland's a different city. If you acting like a bitch ass nigga, bro, people gonna like treat you like that. And I do think he can move forward because we do in Cleveland. If you act like a bitch ass nigga, man, we give you a certain level of pass. Now you can't be acting hard. You can't be stunting. You can't be doing wild shit, but you can't go out there and whine like Deshaun Watson did and then expect sympathy. He's not going to get it. In fact, it's going to be some weaklings slapping him on the back of his neck when he he drinks from the water fountain and shit. Like, because what he said was, oh, and listen, he said, woo, this boy said, I'm not even going to look it up. But he was like, these same people that when we out on the street, they don't be saying that. That is not the verbiage to be talking like in Cleveland. That's not the I'm not even gonna say what could happen. They only doing that on the internet. Dog, this is Cleveland. You don't be outside for real. Don't act like you. And then another thing that really got you down, and it's off the field. Shedeur took care of the hood. He went down to the valley. They had a tragedy. Man, I spent many nights in the valley. I got family still in Garden Valley projects right now. You done had 230 million. And you want to talk about with the charities I'm doing, you it looked like just because it's business with you. Shedeur looked like, oh, the streets need this. His heart, his man, I'm sorry. Wild tangent, man. Wild tangent. But like, don't be talking about you did charity and the hood is who was booing you, bruh. Y'all be thinking white people don't be the hood, man. We got some hoods in Ohio. It's mass segregated. It's some grind in Ohio. You got most of the ticket holders be white people. They don't, bruh. We ain't forget them cases, man. Did not forget them cases.
Team and individually, I think he was, there's no question we were all frustrated. Certainly could have coached better, could have played better.
So the follow-up is, there were probably 15, 20,000 people at that game after the rains and the storm. There'll be 65,000 in the Carolina game when you guys come back for the home opener, and that could be louder. You're concerned about surrendering a home field advantage by playing him.
I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about.
That was a great question. I'm gonna run that back. That was a great question. If he don't feel confident, and if he feel like he played better on the road, you are kind of surrendering the home court advantage. You are a little bit. I'm like, that's a great question.
That could be louder. You're concerned about surrendering a home field advantage by playing him.
I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is us playing well as a team and on offense. Because when you play well, none of the other stuff matters. Just play well, coach well, and none of that will even matter.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Scott.
Hey, Todd. Deshaun said that he was asked if the negativity, if he can get over it, and he said he didn't know. When you talk to him, do you think he still can play here and still wants to play here?
I do. I haven't gotten any of that from him since I've been here. All I've
because he volcano, bro. He erupted. Pause.
Awfully hard to get back to where he is now and giving himself a chance to compete at the highest level. I've been really pleased with how he's worked, how he's approached every day. And listen, we didn't play well enough collectively. And I'm sure that was frustrating for him. And it was for us as well. But like I said, we control that. We control that with how we coach, how we play. And I mean, none of us like to be booed. We all like to be appreciated.
Nobody.
I think that's just
nobody.
Human, okay. I think he emptied his heart a little bit. And I don't think that says who he is. I see the competitor in. I see the everyday work he puts in. And
Monken really believe in dog.
He wants to get back to where he was as best he can. And that's hard. And again, I think the moment just got him after the game, and it can get all of us.
Thanks.
All right, next we go to Daniel.
Hey, Todd. When we talked to Deshaun, he's made reference to, when we asked him specifically about the quarterback decision, he's made reference to not only you, but the front office that has them. So with that, I want to ask, what input, if any, will the front office and ownership have when it comes to this overall quarterback decision?
Well, I'll just make reference to any decision that's made in terms of football. We're all involved in that. I mean, whether it's the draft or whether it's the roster, whether it's game day, who's up and who plays. But ultimately, the quarterback decision will be mine.
Thank you.
All right, next we go to Cam.
Hey, Todd, I know that obviously external note to move past that, but for you, is there a specific way that you can handle not letting that noise get too loud to impact or sway your decisions?
As you can see in the queue, I just put up some Deshaun Watson film. We watched Shedeur earlier. Go to the earlier part of the stream. You can see the Shedeur Watson, oh my God, the Shedeur Sanders film of, his throws. His Matty Dubs does a great job. We're going to go into Matty Dubs again for the Deshaun Watson portion. Then I forgot the other video I just put in there, but oh, no, 92.3 The Fan, Ken and I don't know. I like the particular segments. Them as well with Earl to Pearl. I do like all the Earl to Pearl segments. But we're going to get into some of that later. We're going to let Monken finish right now, though.
impact the performance.
Please hit that
of
repost,
the
y'all. Hit the
quarterback
repost.
on the
I'm trying to
field?
get 150 subs on my
Well,
YouTube to get
I
it
mean,
to
ultimately,
1,000
like I said
subscribers.
earlier, our job is to put the best product on the field and the best players on the field that we feel like give us the best chance to move the football, score points, and win games. So ultimately, that's what I look at, irrespective of outside noise. I don't worry about that. What I worry about is if we don't play very well, then you got to pivot. But the
That's
point
all
is
you got to worry about
how
as
do
a
we put the best
coach.
players on the field, the best system together to allow their talent to shine?
I guess kind of off of that though, when you're making this decision and when you're weighing this out, have you allowed yourself at all to think past week 1 of the decision, or is this decision solely based on that opening game? Have you thought about week 3, 4, 5 when it comes to the quarterback decision?
Not really. And I think even with yesterday, if you take in the full body, we have to take in the full body of work. That's one opportunity that they had on the field, both of them, just like the week before, an opportunity, just like the practices against the Bills were an opportunity to showcase their ability and others' ability and where they're at this point, where we're at as an offense. So I don't look at it that way. I look at it, what has been the full body of work, and then ultimately who gives us the best chance to win week 1. I mean, us coming out of the gate. And I'm frustrated because yesterday and for 2 weeks, we just haven't played well in the second half. And the first halves, we've been fine. We've given ourselves a chance to compete. And Thursday against the Bills, ones-on-ones, which I put a lot more stock into, we were fine. Now we'll see, as we keep going down the road and we get ready for the first game. But I'm not going to let one half of football, one frustrating moment, dictate what our decision is going to be that we think is in the best interest of the Browns moving forward, and especially week 1.
Thanks.
All right, next we go to Ashley.
Todd, just watching the film back yesterday with Shedeur's half, what were some of your takeaways for how he did in those first 2 quarters?
Well, I thought he operated a lot more smoothly than he did the first week, like handling cadence. We had a couple opportunities to draw them off sides, chance for a couple free plays. Thought we got in and out of the huddle more efficiently. I think his command of the offense has grown leaps and bounds. So there was a lot there to like. When we had protection, I think he stood in there and made throws down the field. He did escape, one time and gave us, without the holding call, an opportunity for a play off of a drop back. So there was a lot there to like of how he performed. Again, it's been the tale of 2 weeks. It's been the same each week. It just feels like that we've played better in the first half, and then come right before halftime in the second half, collectively, along with coaching, we haven't done as well.
Thanks.
All right, next we go to Jeff.
So Todd, one more on the Deshaun situation. What was your reaction to what he said? And if you do name him the starter, what can you expect the reaction to be like in that first home game for the regular season?
Well, I'll go backwards, forwards. I'm not concerned about the first home game. I'm concerned about who gives us the best chance to win first week. We'll get to that when we get to it. My reaction was a young man who's.
Oh man!
This video is brought to you by Picks. If you're a Browns fan, you have.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, Coach.
so
All right, we have Coach Monken. I see some hands are raised already. So we'll start calling on you guys. First question, we'll go to Mary Kay.
Go as we had hoped, or he did, I'm sure. And I think we have to be a little bit careful of judging someone right after going out there to play, feeling like he's put in the work, and then to not perform as well as he would have wanted. And like I said, we all want to be appreciated. And he spoke from the heart. And I don't ever blame someone that speaks from the heart. And then someone would say, well, do you feel like he doesn't have confidence? I don't see that. I don't see that every day. I see a young man that has confidence, and he wanted to perform in the worst way at a high level.
Is it difficult for you since you?
Whoa, what's happening?
No, it's not. I mean, the business we are in is a performance-based business. I mean, it is what it is. When we expect a service, we're going to be disappointed when we don't get that service. If you go to a restaurant and your soup comes out and it's cold, you're going to be pissed. Okay, that's just the way it is. If you order from the grocery store and they delivered and 6 of your eggs are broken, you're going to be pissed. Okay, so I get it. That's what we're in. I mean, that's why we're paid what we are. I mean, to perform at a high level. And when we don't, then that's the repercussions of it. This is We've run to this smoke. This is the job we've chosen. So this is part of it.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Brendan.
Hey, Todd, maybe just stepping back a little more macro level here. On the offensive side of the ball in particular,
It
your
do
expectations
seem like with his explanations there, he leaving the door open. I feel like if I'm a coach, man, like I can really want you to play, but like if I can't try, and this ain't little league, this ain't college, like this is professional. Like you telling me, he said, it's like, can you get it together? He was like, I don't know. I don't like he's still trying to figure it out. He ain't got it together yet. And then it sucks because on the contracts, you got one person like, I don't know. And then you got another person like all they want to do is start in the NFL. And the contrast is just crazy.
into camp versus
He
where
might
you
be
see
killed by
this
the
offense right now?
contrast.
How are those equating?
He might be killed by the contrast.
Thursday with the ones and our O-line intact, I felt really, really good. And I still do. And we're not a finished product yet because it's our first year here together. Now we got to get that up to speed and get it running and be ready to really get after it in Jacksonville. But I see a good number of signs of the guys that we're going to be counting on playing at a high level and improving.
Yeah,
and I like our young
that's
players.
what I like to hear.
I like the way the line came together on Thursday, and I can't wait to keep building on that.
And then as far as this last preseason game goes, I mean, obviously it's a dress rehearsal type game. Is there anything in particular that has your attention that you most want to see to give you whatever good feeling you need going in or clarify something that you need outside of the quarterback decision here?
Well, at this point, being Sunday,
And keep
there
in
are
mind,
still
y'all,
some roster spots to be had. There's still a
I
lot to play
did queue
for.
up some
And
Watson
whenever you
tape.
take the field with the Browns uniform, it's the expectations of the name on the back of their jersey and the helmet and what that
We
stands
will
for.
watch
So
some
to me,
Watson
there's
tape.
always a
We
lot to play
had
for.
some
And the product we put
Shedeur
out there.
tape
Our
earlier, but
players
we
are
got
still playing
Watson
for
tape
spots.
queued up.
I do anticipate, I'm excited to see Taylor Green play. I want to see him play and give him an opportunity to build on what he showed at the limited reps that he did get against the Bills.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
That's the
All right,
realest
next we go
thing
to
he
Kelsey.
said. Like,
Todd,
it's
you guys
time to get
had
him
to
in
play,
rotation.
sorry, on injured reserve today, but then signed Derek Barnett. How do you think Derek fits this defense and what he can bring you guys on the edge?
Well, I've been a big fan of his over the last few years, just watching him play with relentless effort, his toughness, get out there and watch him compete. I've never been on the same team as him. Obviously, we're disappointed for Alex. And I would say in some ways, I feel like I've grown a little bit close to Alex over the few months
Please
that
hit the
we've been together.
repost, y'all. Repost with a
I think
quote.
that
Say
he
something.
was all in, really starting to lead in his own way. And he certainly brings a certain style of toughness to our defense that we will miss. But that's the NFL. And you do lose players. And I'm disappointed for him, how hard he's worked and what he brings to the table.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go back to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Todd, just wondering, is there anything that you guys can do, knowing that Deshaun's going to have to venture back into that stadium again where those things can happen again? Is there anything that you guys can do as a team, as an organization to, I don't know, equip him with to manage it? And then also, do you believe that he has the mental toughness that you require in your starting quarterback?
I believe he does. I'll just speak to that.
Do.
I believe he does. I've seen it on a daily basis. Again, I've been around him 6 months. I've seen him bounce back. Practice days get better every day that we've been out there with our offense. I've just seen it. So I know he's got that in him. You know, I'm not going to speak to where we go moving forward with that, but I've seen it in him. I know he has it.
That's good.
All right, we'll do
You
three more.
need your
First one
coach
from
to
Daniel.
believe in you.
Which I wanted to ask for an will be activated from PUP before roster cut down, and just do you have any optimism on any other guys returning to practice this week?
I anticipate Malik. We're hopeful that we'll get him this week. That'll start this week. I think Mike Burton will be back this week. I'm trying to anticipate. I'm looking at Peter, like who the rest of guys that we anticipate being back. Kamara being back, Sapp being back, D'Angelo Ross being back. Hopefully, he was already started to come back a little bit. Carson will do a little bit more this week. So again, outside of Alex,
Carson.
getting relatively healthy, other than minor nicks and bruises.
Thanks for the
really
repost,
lucky.
y'all. Repost with the quote.
Thank you.
All
Tell
right,
them to check
Scott.
this out, man.
Todd, I got two quick
Good
ones.
luck if
Do you
y'all want
anticipate
to.
playing the
The link
starters
is in the
Thursday night?
chat.
I do not.
Even the quarterback too? Nobody?
I do not.
Okay. And then do you think Mike Hall at end is a full-time switch this year, given the injury to Alex?
It's a good question. I want to know
I'm
this.
not going to go there yet. I do think that there's a place for him there, but I think where the depth becomes, where Derek fits, are we going to add another end, right? Like inside. I think with Mike's versatility, I don't think we would ever say that's full time. But again, we still have 3 weeks left. I mean, we have a full week this week with our guys. We have another week next week, and then we're we've still got a lot of football. We're only really at the halfway point, somewhat, of getting ready for the first game, which is exciting. I mean, I see it that way. I see we're only at the halfway point of where we're at, getting some guys back, especially in the O-line, and then defensively getting Malik back. And so I'm excited. And then eventually getting Carson back. I mean, getting those guys back and practicing and working as one.
Thanks.
Last one from Tony.
All right. Am I good? You hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Tony.
Two real quick ones. Number one, I understand everything you said about Shedeur in the game. He had good stats and all. 116 yards total offense, though, the first half. So what's missing to beef that up?
Well,
good question.
We start off, the thing that hurt us was we really only had 4 drives. And in the one drive right before half, we went 3 and out. That probably was the most frustrating. Not really the yards, because we only had, it was the one drive that we scored on, and the other one we had a chance to score. We got in great field position and didn't finish. It is frustrating. Again, it's very hard to control the game and be as explosive as you want if you don't run it as well as you like. And we ran it well the first drive. We really did. Had some nice runs there, and we certainly have to do that better and scheme it better. That's probably as much as anything. If we don't turn it over in the first half and we get a field goal or a touchdown, irrespective of yards, I'm excited to have 10 or 14 points. That as much as anything. A little bit like the week before we played the Bears. We got 10 points and felt like that we certainly had an opportunity. We had a drop then too. I mean, we had a drop with Harold Fannin that led to a field goal. So we just got to clean some of those things up. And we're certainly capable of executing at a much higher level. In the first drive, I did think, obviously, that third down touchdown pass was great protection. Agree. Guys did a good job on the route. We just got to be able to be a little bit more explosive and run the ball better.
The other thing is, do you anticipate starting Taylon Green against New England?
I do not.
Okay. All right.
All right. That wraps us up. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, y'all, here we go.
Shedeur Sanders had an excellent day today, while Deshaun Watson, we'll talk about it on the B-Jack 70 show.
I forgot I put the homie in here. I like him.
At the beginning of the video, I already recorded my reaction to the game and how I felt, just on the football side. I got done recording, was editing, putting stuff together, and I saw Deshaun's press conference and what he had to say about getting booed. He says it wasn't about what was on the field, that it was personal and it was disrespectful. Why do you think it was disrespectful? Why do you think? What on earth could be their reasoning?
B-Jack going in. B-Jack going in off the rip.
Not only do I not want, I don't want to be around the football team. They can't cut him because of salary cap implications. They can't cut him. Just send him home. Just send him to the crib, bro. Just send him to the crib. If this is how he's gonna act, the crowd let you know what they thought of you. This might be untenable. Crowd is gonna do this every time he's out there, 100%. Especially now. And you go out there and you play like fucking ass. I'm so angry.
What I will say is, on this note, I don't think, because of the internal conversations Deshaun Watson talked about, I do think the Haslam's want him to win. If they want to set him up for another chance to be able to play They can't just send him home. I think that would be a viable option right now with what he just said and how he feeling. But it would be like a spare of the moment type thing. You said this and then just lash out on him if they do. And to be honest, on this roster, I don't know. I don't. Dylan Gabriel don't make it easier. I do kind of want him as the backup. All back against the wall. The hometown don't like him. We a roll with it, but I think the Haslams want him to be successful and maybe have some chance somewhere else where he can go play free. And if you send him home now, his career is dead. So I don't know. I don't think they're gonna
Better
do that.
descriptor than you played fucking ass. I can't even be fun. I can't be creative. I can't do anything. Send him home. Send him to the crib. You got your money. The checks will still hit every Monday, every Tuesday.
He
Keep the
do
roster
still
spot.
got the still got
It
the
is,
bread.
it is what it is. Again, you can't cut him because of the salary cap implications.
Like you just started a family,
Nah,
got
bro.
married.
Nah, fam.
Go,
Talking about is
go do life.
nigga, first you said you didn't care. You said you didn't care about this.
He
Now
said he
it's
didn't care.
Pick one. Is it Uchiwali? Is it one mic, motherfucker? Pick one.
I wasn't gonna go
Anyway,
there.
I'm putting this at the beginning.
But
Watch the
hit
rest
the
of the video
repost,
for
man.
analysis about the football, about the human. Fuck that nigga. Welcome to the BJX70 show. I'm your host, Brandon Jackson, and I don't even know where to begin reacting to this preseason game. But let's get into it. Let's start with. I'm going to start with Deshaun Watson today. Going off my notes, everything up to this point in training camp has pointed to Deshaun Watson being the starter week 1 for the Cleveland Browns at quarterback. Between the reps, him playing with the starters, the difference in reps in like padded practices, like everything that we've seen so far has pointed to Deshaun being the starter. Even today, none of the offensive starters played except Denzel Boston. If you want to count Isaiah Bond in that group, Isaiah Bond and Denzel Boston played today. Everybody else did not suit up. The whole entire starting offensive line, Harold Fannin, KC Concepcion, Jerry Jeudy, obviously Quinshawn because he's been hurt. Dylan Sampson didn't play. Like all of these guys did not play. And Shedeur Sanders did go out there and play with basically the second team offense. Deshaun, on the other hand, basically did the same thing. Played with the same guys. Played with, basically the same guys out there on offense as Shedeur did. He didn't play with Denzel Boston. He played a couple plays with Isaiah Bond, but for the most part, the same guys. What we saw from Deshaun Watson today against the Buffalo Bills, we like everything that we thought was happening has to be rethunk, has to be in consideration. Everything has to change because in good faith, as a head football coach, Todd Monken cannot name Deshaun Watson the starter after that performance. He can't. He cannot. He cannot do that. It would be lunacy if he tried to do that. Because what we saw from Deshaun Watson today was bad enough. I believe, in my opinion, again, we'll see the all 22 tomorrow. In my opinion, enough for him to lose the job entirely. Everything bad over the last Deshaun Watson showed up in this game today. Throwing passes in the dirt, inaccurate passes, hesitation, not pulling the trigger. I will say, to have a fair critique of things, I will say he did throw the one dig to Malachi Corley, ran that correctly, threw a good pass, got to the receiver when it needed to get there, and he did have a scramble. He does look healthy below the waist. In his lower body, the Achilles, everything, that looks fine. He looks to be completely healthy, more healthy than I think we've seen him in a while, like athletically running the football. So to be fair, he looked athletic and spry there. Everything else, the decision making, the accuracy, really bad. Really bad. I don't know. Give me 1 second. Let me look. I gotta look up. I'm not a box score guy. I truly am not. But I have to look at to see what these stats were. Hold on. Deshaun Watson, 5 of 12, 36 yards, 3.0 average per attempt, 1 interception, a quarterback rating, not QBR, not ESPN's QBR, just actual legitimate, historically as we know it, quarterback rating of 14.6. Every single fear of Deshaun Watson that Browns fans have because of what they've seen from him over the past 4 years was this performance. Every single one. Every single one. And, thankfully, Deshaun said during this week, if he, what he thought about possibly potentially getting booed at Cleveland Browns Stadium would be like, he said he didn't care. Well, I hope he really doesn't care because he got booed and he deserved it. He absolutely deserved it. So again, thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys being here. Last video did really well for me. You guys are new, feel free to check out the channel, everything that I've said.
We got you, Jack. I got you. I rock with you.
These past couple weeks
feels
like it's trending toward Deshaun Watson as your quarterback one. Week 1. We can't. They can't. It can't. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's hard enough. It's hard enough to deal with your team having a quarterback competition when one of the participants in it has been previously accused of what he's been accused of. That's hard enough. And then to add on top of it, you look like double dog ass. Nah, bro. Nah, fam. Like what are we supposed to truly? What are we supposed to do? You in good faith as the leader of a football team, at head coach, you can't put that guy out there and tell 52 other men number 4 is the one that gives us the best chance to win. You can't do it. All of the stuff that we've been talking about Shedeur doing, Deshaun did it today. And honestly did it worse today.
Oh, I wouldn't go say
it. I don't know. Like they had to use it like procedure.
I wouldn't go say
me personally on this channel, I've been talking about Shedeur getting better procedurally, and trust and believe we'll get to that. We'll get to Shedeur today because he did excellent today. Deshaun procedurally, they had to waste the timeout. They had to waste the timeout when he was in there. And again, this is all happening. Deshaun against the Buffalo Bills, second or maybe even third team guys out there, looked putrid.
He didn't look good
against second team and third team guys out there. As a veteran quarterback, this can't be what happens. As a veteran quarterback out there in preseason with the guys, I don't care who he was throwing to, with the guys that he was out there up against, it should never. It should never look this bad. This bad. Ever. What happened between Thursday and right now? What happened? Thursday, easily what people have said, Deshaun's best day as a Brown, seemingly. Today, I can't. The worst part is I can't even say today was the worst that he's looked because I don't know that for certain because it's been bad. for certain say today was the worst because it probably wasn't. And that should tell you everything. That should tell you everything. We'll see what Todd says, what happens, what becomes of this quarterback competition. At the very least, it's just not over. But given how bad it was, it should be. And Shedeur Sanders should be your starting quarterback. But we have so much evidence of the opposite that I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of speculation done tonight, done tomorrow, when they go Monday. Like I don't know. We don't know, and we're just going to have to all find out together. Moving on from double dog water ass quarterback play, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders was in control like I've never seen him since being in the NFL. He was calm. He was poised in the pocket. He was on time when he needed to be. He was patient when he needed to be. The ball was accurate. The ball went to where it was supposed to go. A couple of these plays we'll see on the all 22. Can't tell from the broadcast view what the receivers were doing. And the ball didn't come out. So he tried to, get out of the pocket once, but lost no yards. So, okay. Seemingly did a good job of not losing any yards, not taking any real bad sacks. Every critique that we've had of Shedeur Sanders, he addressed in a huge way today specifically. Procedurally, post-snap, pre-snap, all of that stuff, he was in command of this offense. I said it, I tweeted it out. That first drive, when he was 4 for 4 and threw the touchdown, 43 yards, that was maybe the cleanest offensive drive I've seen the Browns have in a long time, in a very long time.
It is preseason. Can't get too crazy on it, but yeah.
On the fourth down play, he was patient. He didn't panic. He knows his fourth down. He trusted in his offensive line. Didn't, stepped up in the pocket, delivered the ball where it needed to go. And I can't say it was on time because it took a long time for the route to open up. But when it did open up, he got the ball where it needed to be, and it was a great play. It was an excellent play on fourth down, doing what you need to do to convert. And then on the touchdown, same thing. Was patient. Luke Floria breaks wide open. Ball is accurate where it needs to be with some zip on it to get through. Make sure you get it through. Make sure you get it to the receiver. Touchdown. Wrist up. Excellent day. Now on the next drive or the third drive, moving the ball, doing everything we need to do, throws the ball, potentially gets tipped off the line. I don't know, but ball is thrown behind the receiver. Receiver doesn't catch it, gets tipped up, interception. And people are gonna, compare and contrast, critique Shedeur's interception versus Deshaun's interception. Deshaun's interception, he threw it high. He overthrew Gage Larvin. Gage is 5'8". He threw it to Dorial Green Beckham. If you know who Dorial Green Beckham is, you know how tall he is. He tried to throw it to him instead of Gage Larvin. On the other side, Shedeur, the pass was behind him. The pass was behind the receiver. Receiver had to adjust. But, it hit him square in the hand still. Like, if you want to play NFL football, you got to make that catch. Like, again, could the pass have been better? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But if you want to play NFL football and catch the football in the NFL, you have to catch the pass that came to you on that play. You have to. If you get both hands on that bitch, you got to be able to make that play. And I say get both hands on it, like square, clean in the breadbasket, 2 hands on it. Gage on the other interception might have gotten 2 hands on it, but he's almost horizontal going back to try to catch that pass. Like it's different. I know what people are going to do. If you hate Shedeur, you're going to say it was behind him. You're going to say it was a bad pass. It was late, whatever. If you hate Deshaun, you're going to say the pass is overthrown. It was a bad pass, blah, blah, blah. Like you're going to, whatever side you fall on, if you fall on the side of bias and not objectivity, then you're going to feel however you feel about both of those interceptions. The fact of the matter, if you take the interceptions away, as both of them, they're interceptions, bad plays, you get an F for both plays. All right, cool. Compare and contrast the rest of the plays. One quarterback looked a lot better than the other, extremely better than the other one. One, if you didn't know who both of these quarterbacks was, you would say the first quarterback was a 10-year veteran, and the other one was a second-year player who's only started 7 games. That's what they look like. That is what they look like. Shedeur looked exactly how you want him to look for this offense for this year of the Cleveland Browns. Get the ball where it needs to go. Get the ball to the playmakers. Make a play when the time calls for it. It called for it on that touchdown pass and that 4th down pass. It called for it. Everywhere else, get the ball accurately where it needs to go on the screen. Let the running back do the work. Happens in 2027 and beyond, we'll get there when we get there. But today, for right now, going into week 1, just get it where it needs to go. Get it to the best players on the team. Go from there. And that's what Shedeur did today. Deshaun ain't do that today. Not even close to doing that today. So people are going to be mad. I don't know. Like, again, you watching this, new subscribers. I got a lot of new subscribers in the last couple weeks. If you thought I was a Shedeur hater and you joined
I'm
up
here.
and that's what you're on, that's not who I am. If you're a Shedeur stan and you love him and you want me, go at everybody who, speaks on his bloodline, that's not me either. So it is what it is. However you want to take it from here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here originally. But if you want to go, that's cool too. I'm a Browns fan. I'm from Cleveland. I am a football player at heart. I'm going to be objective every time I come on this. That's all I can do. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be one of these guys on, he's a Shedeur guy. Oh, he's a Deshaun guy. I'm my own guy. I'm Brandon Jackson. I'm a Jackson guy. So if that offends you, no hard feelings. Leave whatever comments you want. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I talked about it with Quincy. They mentioned it on Q and Cole. What they were saying to me a couple weeks ago, because I dared have a compliment for Dylan Gabriel. But again, I'm digressing. Not here to talk about this. But again, the people that's here for objectivity for Cleveland Browns football, and I'm also, when the season starts, I'm going to talk about the rest of the NFL too. Stick around. Hope you enjoy, what that is. But I'm not done on the Browns. Real quick before we get out of here. Defensively, I don't care about anything that happened today. Most of these guys that are out there not going to be playing for real, not going to be playing. So there's no real takeaways on defense. You just got to worry about that first unit and a couple. Except Mike Hall at edge, I'm intrigued. I'm a little intrigued. I'm interested in what that might look like. Especially, I don't know what the numbers on this would be, but like Mike Hall on the edge, would that be able to keep him a little bit healthier because you're not in the interior, like messing around with all those guys if you're out there on the edge a little bit more? Like, would that keep you a little bit healthier? I don't know. In my personal experience, I might maybe a little bit. But that was years ago. Anyway, Mike Hall at edge, I'm a little intrigued. I'm keeping my eye on that. Otherwise, defense, I don't really care. Last thing I'm gonna say before I actually get out of here: cut KT Leviston right now. Right now, get his shit up out of here. How many false starts did he have on the same drive? And he missing blocks. After what we saw last week, again, I didn't post all 22 review, technical difficulties, but I did watch it. I tried to record it to post it. Brother, KT Leviston last week, never should play guard ever again. Ever again. Today, should you play? Let me not go with it. You can do whatever you want to do. KT Leviston, you might have to figure it out somewhere else. You might have to go figure it out somewhere else. I don't know. And I empathize. I'm an offensive lineman that's, here talking to you on camera because it didn't go how I wanted it to go. You made it farther than me, brother. You in the league, bro. You getting real NFL paychecks, brother. And I commend you and I shout you out for that.
Salute.
And I
Salute
appreciate
that.
you know, if you happen to see this, how you feel about me, you can tell me to shut the fuck up. I understand, but all I can give you is what I see. I'm not the one out there doing it. All I can say is what I see. KT, that was who. And if you do stick, I don't know what the offensive meeting room is like in the NFL, but I know if that was in college and I false started like that many times in the same drive with Bill Beatonbow running the meeting, he might have stabbed me. So I don't know. I don't know. You know, if that's not the type of situation y'all got going on, then that's what that is. I know personally, there are a lot of things I might have done to not have to watch that film on Sunday. If that was me and my coach was Bill Beatonbow, there would be a lot of things I would be contemplating doing, not having to go watch that film. Respectfully. And if there's about 10 guys on earth that know why I'm saying that. But again, that's a whole different story. Shout out Joe Madsen. Shout out Donnie Barclay. Shout out Josh Jenkins. Shout out Marquise Lucas. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shout out Mark Lewinsky. Shout out Nick Kindler, my boy. Shout out Nick Kindler. Big Mike. Shout out Big Mike. Johnny Bass. Shout out Johnny Bassler. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's all I got for this episode. We'll see what happens. Do we even want to look at the all 22? I don't when it comes out. Maybe, I've been recording. I don't know what Todd has said at the press conference after the game. No idea what's going on. Don't know when he'll name a starting quarterback. If he'll name a starting quarterback at this point, it can't be coming now. It has to come at least after Thursday. But if it happens, we'll come back. We'll talk about it. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Go ahead, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button again. To all my new subscribers, thank you for being here. I appreciate all you guys. The channel is growing. The channel is doing extremely well. This is exactly what I envisioned for myself in 2026 for this upcoming football season. So thank you again so much to all of you guys for the support. But until the next video, I'll see you.
The very first time they didn't boom. Audio courtesy of the Browns Radio Network. Flagship for Cleveland Browns football 92.3 The Fan. Hello.
They definitely cheered him when he got injured, though.
Well, the first ever time that he went out there, they didn't boo him. I think there were some people kind of like, okay, this is a little bizarre, but there were plenty of people that were cheering when he went out there the very first time he ever went out there.
What game was that?
It was preseason game.
All I remember is the Houston game.
That's a good point, man.
This was
That's a good point.
Very first time
At one point, people wasn't booing. People was cheering
in the preseason.
So they went from cheering to.
Well, first off, you said you didn't care last week. You definitely care. 100% you care. You knew that wasn't true when he said it, and I don't think you disagreed with me on that. Did you disagree with me on that? Okay.
No.
All right. So I went through a range of emotion, all negative, all bad. I don't want to cut off our nose to spider face. Like the penalty that you take by cutting him is massive. And it would affect whoever you draft next year because you want to be able to wait until June. What did Jack Duffin say, 200 days until they can cut him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a long way from now still.
You want to be able to wait until noon, but you really, or not until noon. Noon is when Todd Monken starts talking. You really want to wait until June, but after what he said on Saturday, it's very, very hard to wait until June. And then after what he played like on Saturday, it's very hard to wait until June. So again, this just becomes another sentence or another year on Brown's prison. Like that's what it is. Because
it's unanimous. It's unanimous, man. I think we all as fans know what we want, what we expect, how we feel. And we just gonna see what's up with Monken, man. We gonna see how Monken feeling, man. We gonna see how Monken feeling. I didn't realize. I gotta go back and look. They said the camera viewed in on homie while Deshaun was getting booed. I bet he was sitting there like, "That's my quarterback." Shout out to T.O. That's my quarterback. Well, man, appreciate everybody that's in here, man. Thanks for all the reposts. Please still repost this with a quote, a thought, idea, whatever, something that sparked, man. Trying to get another 150 subscribers on the YouTube. I know right now we're streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Appreciate everybody that's pulling up. Appreciate all the comments. It's been a fun stream. It's been great. We growing. Thanks for all the new subscribers. We here. You already know I'm gonna be here. And we going, man. Pull up. And y'all can pull up. Y'all can pull up.
Welcome to Real McCoy TV, where faith intertwines with daily life, empowering us to inspire positive change. Our mission is not just to share our story, but to uplift our community and celebrate authentic tales of faith and family. Journey with us and witness Cleveland's vibrant sports scene alongside heartwarming church events and cherished family moments, all showcasing our shared values. New content graces your screens every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday evenings, making it easy to engage with us on this enlightening adventure. We invite you to be part of the Real McCoy experience. Whether you wish to call in, join discussions, or collaborate, your voice matters. Plus, support our mission through Cash App, GoFundMe, or Patreon. Together, we create a thriving community of faith and support where every contribution counts.